Right. Hello, everybody. We are just starting in a second, just as natural as always. We're going to give you guys a few more seconds to jump into the webinar. So YouTube and other channels will be on pace. That we'll be able to have uh, all the audience ready and set with coffee or some lunch if you were in different time zones, or actually breakfast or supper. We see that we have multiple people coming across the globe, so that's very, very nice. We see the 4 p.m. is actually a good time for most of you, so we'll definitely continue that. Um,
Yeah, and you can guys post on the chat where are you from in the meantime while we waiting.
that's true. It's pretty nice. Actually, we probably had last week another webinar, so we have a pretty nice pace on that as well, delivering different knowledge to the customers and actually community.
Yeah, yeah. The only topics are changing. Yeah.
True. Topics are changing. People are the same, but yeah, I think in the next season, in the next episodes of our webinars, we're going to have new presenters. As far I believe we're going to have pretty much interesting topic for you guys with from totally new box, a new Pandora box, which we're going to open. So we have 90 seconds after we start. I think everything is synchronized today. Super glad that we're going to do optimizing D365 performance, how Executive Automats handles the pressure of the environment. We're going to share with you a lot of knowledge. And this event is a bit different than others. This time we are partnering with Microsoft on hosting this specific webinar. Microsoft, as you may know, recommended our solution regarding performance testing specifically as the best in class. You can take a look on the Mike Ehrenberg, CTO of Microsoft, recommendation directed to us in that perspective. But also this time, the long-term relationship with Promise Group and the idea to build this webinar. Thank you so much, Promise Group, for co-hosting and co-organizing this. For those of you who doesn't know Promise, APN Promise has been shaping the Polish and European market since 1991. And since 1996, they are the biggest Microsoft solution reseller. They are operating applications and expert consultant with other global leaders. They have over 200 specialists. They support customers and partners at every stage, from licensing, hardware, advisory to implementation, integrating, training, technical support, and custom application development. Pretty wide span of possibilities with APN Promise. And thank you so much, guys, for partnering specifically on this webinar today with me. I'm super glad that again Pavel Wozniak is participating. So we're gonna just move around and deliver you guys the best expertise and experience that we've got throughout our projects on D365 FO and CE as well. Starting with agenda, performance readiness, planning for growth. I will walk you through some concepts, some ideas, some data that we've got it. Then Pavel will take the steering wheel and walk you through bottleneck resolution strategies. And again, I'll take over to give you some ideas about stress testing insights, some scenarios we've identified with different customers. And last but not least, Pavel will give you a tour through our application, quick demo with a showcase. And we're going to conclude with a Q&A session, so please be active, provide us as many questions as you've got, so we'll be able to answer them and again find the next topic for you to build webinar that's going to be meaningful and data that will change the performance, improve the performance of your environments. Let's start in with the performance readiness and planning for growth. As you know, and most of the organizations, most of the applications that we've seen so far, the whole implementation process always starts from step one entity, some mother entity, but the others are waiting on the line for the go sign to start UATs, to start implementing. So it's always a test. It's always a kind of a journey, a roadmap with milestones where you're deploying multiple entities. And we've seen a significant one in Southern Hemisphere. We actually had the experience to work with environment where there was 4,500 users designed to be working in FSCM and also in customer engagement. And we've been doing for them for actually 2 years performance testing to validate different scenarios, different worst case scenarios, so forth. So those findings, in some cases, in some parts, we're gonna share with you today. But focusing a bit specifically, whenever you implement your ERP, you're gonna be stretched, and you're gonna have different topics to cover. The application manager, the program manager is actually focused on a lot of stuff, including UATs. Are they done correctly? And UATs may sound silly from the performance perspective, but it is kind of the essence. If you're going to do well the UATs, you're going to prevent situations where people are filtering or browsing for data which they don't need. Very often when we take a look from our observability functionalities, how people are using FSCM at the starting point or CE, they filter, they learn the system. If they will be confused, and they will not feel that freedom and that this system is tailored towards their expectation, they're going to get frustrated. So not only are you going to get additional actions which will create your load, but secondly, you have just one bullet. You are able to win their satisfaction, win their change management if you're going to do it the UAT right. That's one of the key essence that you can add to the performance aspects into it, that it has direct impact. And then you can notice that we have different compliance requirements. There are different licensing needs. So the span of the needs for implementations are pretty big. And the performance, again, is mixed through some stuff. But this is something which you need to make sure that you set the scene, that you set all the goals that are done. And specifically from the performance perspective, if you are planning the go live, it is good to kind of see how the system will work. We've seen situation where company was inviting people for a rehearsal before they go live. They invited everybody over the weekend to see if they are able to work together on the environment. It has some sense, but again, it is hyper expensive. And again, it has a pressure on the users. They might not like the idea to spend that extra time. And there is a very cost-effective way of incorporating tools like Executive Automates to build that pressure. And that would be a typical day in our environment. You can simulate that. The worst case scenario is something more complicated and pretty interesting to do. For different industries, it might be the heat wave coming and you drink a lot of sodas. Black Friday, a lot of transactions. Another different branch, different manufacturing will have their own specific period, but at the end of the day, we want to simulate what is the worst case scenario before go live. Because even if you're going to take a look on the requirements from Microsoft, they haven't changed. You as a customer who is implementing FSCM with your partner, there is an obligation for Microsoft to validate your blueprints. So Microsoft sets the expectation that you will be kind of a double checking if you're going to survive after go live. And then naturally expansions, acquisitions, the madness will start later on. As the typical scenario where roadmap starts with one entity, you're going to progress with additional rollouts, converting some entities, splitting entities, acquiring new companies, and growing. That forecast can be done very easily. And we're going to walk you through 3 different scenarios that we came up with, how we are validating the performance of FSCM and CE in that specific context, how you're able to answer the question, are we actually stable? Pavel, the stage is yours for this one.
Yeah, so what is our idea to check the performance, how we can measure that, what we can do? So of course we need tools for that. And today what we want to show is Executive Automats, our solution, which allows you to create scripts, automated scripts for your business processes. And with those scripts, you can simulate the workload on your environment. So basically what we propose is to record real user workflows, so real business processes that your users are doing on daily basis. We should select the most common processes, the processes that are the most important for us, processes that they have the high probability that they will suffer the most from any performance drops. So these processes are good candidates to use them to simulate workload to your environment and to see which steps in those processes are getting slower with the higher numbers of the sessions executed, with the higher workloads. Also, which processes are breaking, which processes are slowing down during the test executed. So we propose to record business processes and then run them multiplied sessions, to run hundreds of sessions at the same time to create the workload. Of course, we don't need to start with hundreds of sessions from this very beginning, especially when you are before go live. What you can do, for instance, is to create some scripts and run, for example, like 100 sessions, and check how the execution times will change between different runs of your tests. So we record business processes. We can track execution times, of course, the statuses, but of course we will to see how our dynamics will react on the test. We need also some performance monitoring. Okay, so as mentioned, you can imagine that you can record your business processes, multiply them to have like around 100 scripts. Then you can run them with the recurring option, to run them at least once a week, once a month, to see how execution times will change. And of course, with some performance monitoring solutions, we as XPass, we have also our own solution, which we use for our performance projects. This kind of monitoring can show you how Dynamics behaves when the test runs. So when your 100 sessions, 100 scripts are working at the same time in the system, you can see how CPU of Dynamics will spike. You can check how your database of Dynamics will react on this amount of transactions. And with Executive Automats and also with some performance monitoring tools like XPass monitoring tool or LCS, you can verify how this kind of test will affect your environment. Of course, Executive Automats can simulate more workloads. So this is just a proposal to use just like the part of your typical workload to see the differences. But of course, if you would like to simulate even 1,000 users, 1,000 sessions at the same time, Executive Automats will allow for that. To check how your dynamics will behave when this kind of run will go. And of course, this kind of recurring test with some sessions executed each week, each month, you can integrate it with your CI/CD process by the Azure DevOps pipeline. So for those who are using Azure DevOps to build your code, your Dynamics application, you can also set this up to automatically run performance tests after some big or major releases to your Dynamics to see how the changes affected the performance. Okay.
And I'll take the stress testing insights. So within the different approaches, different customers that we've been validating so far, we've been working with tier 5 environments, tier 4 environments. We've been asked to do performance testing on tier 2, which we said definitely that this is not a great idea, you need to have reflection of somehow what you're going to end up at the end, what will be the production. And that was the most of the answers we've been giving for different customers for years, because we do performance testing from AX 2009. Then when we moved to cloud, we've outreached to CE, field services, and naturally to finance and supply chain management. And on some point, we've been asked so much about how to do performance testing or how to measure the feeling of the performance on the lower instances or kind of a cheaper projects. By cheap, I mean like a smaller budget project. Cheap is not a great word for that. So we came up with 3 ideas. The first one is performance KPI and progression. I will show you that more in detail, but the sense is that you define what is your core process, core business process. You multiply the executions time 50 or 100. 50 in that sense will be the good aspect, because this will be perfectly fit for lower tiers. And you repeat that activity each week. So we can imagine a progression reports, which gives you the time of the execution, the bottlenecks happening, data load. So you execute once a day, once a week that, and you're going to see over a month period that this fluctuates. We have different times of posting, different times of confirming, different times of report generation, and that gives you the great feeling of what to expect from your application. Then, if you're going to run that for a month more, or for a quarter more, or for a year more, you're going to get nice corner cases. You're going to notice some unusual activity. You're going to notice some clunkiness, number sequences falling, some other stuff which can be done only through the big amount of data. So that activity is giving you some byproducts. And that is kind of an idea of KPI, building idea of KPI, of feeling the health status of the environment. You can do that activity on different tiers as well if you want to do it on tier 4 for just more comprehensive testing of the performance. Then we got another one. We've called that a doctor press. It presses, the doctor is pressing until it hurts. So that can be more understood as a stress testing. For that specifically, we are coming to the customer or to the partner, and we are asking, so guys, what is the major process you do? Do you do sales with high loads, like hundreds of transactions per hour, or even thousands of transactions per hour? If you do some APIs calls, if you do some specific elements in the system. So we simply identify the process, we record that process, and we scale it until we see that system will kind of lose its grip, lose its traction, and then we simply say that's the ceiling, that's the maximum that this specific environment can handle. And we've been able to, smash tier 5 environments, different categories, different regions, North America, South America, Central Europe. All of that is kind of in capabilities, because there is no limit on number of sessions. You are able to simulate 5,000 people running and then doing some crazy stuff, and that will give you some feeling. And naturally, the perfect storm that is designed to be the most complex replication of the after go live session, the most replication. You're kind of reflecting what can happen when everything will be the worst case scenario. So I want to make sure that if we're going to follow that heat wave, it will last with us for a week's time. We're going to need to distribute, sell, purchase, and do master planning, production, a lot of stuff in the same moment. I need to validate if that will work. And what if there are some hurdles on the way? You not only test the system from that worst case scenario of the load, but you also include some hurdles, some obstacles, which are just making deadlocks and making the system unstable. And that is something we want to. Do. Naturally, you need to ask yourself these questions to make sure that the increased system usage will be covered. But again, have in mind the future. Have in mind scalability, infrastructure which is ready. If I'm able actually to survive additional load, additional entity. So performance testing is an activity which will grow with you, which will be very elastic. It will simply needs to be adjusted to your current business needs. And now, Pavel, you can take care and take the steering wheel and walk us through the proactive
Yeah,
testing strategy.
and what I will add to it, the load testing is one thing to check if we are ready to do to grow our business, to acquire another business or something. But there is also a very big potential in performance testing for making improvements, to change our posting timings, to maybe make improvements to our filtering in Dynamics 365. We can see with our performances that very often filtering tables, filtering records is very, very ineffective, especially when we have some modifications on the tables. So performance testing can also show you what is slowing down with the increased numbers. So this is also worth to mention, that many things might get improved with the timings. All right. So next slide from me is proactive testing strategies. So we already mentioned that we can do frequent load testing, not with the highest numbers, with the really scaled numbers, which requires us to do many preparations. We can start small with like 100 plus parallel sessions, which we frequently run. Of course, we encourage you to use as much knowledge of your business users for performance testing as well. They know all the pains within the process. They know what may go wrong with the process, and it is really important to have the real business processes for the performance testing, to not test something that is not happening in the real life. And in a second, I will switch my screen to executive automats, and I will show you this kind of scenario with 100 parallel sessions, which I designed to show you today, guys. But before we do that, we have some very nice use cases of our application and our performance projects. As a first one, we have one client from the banking sector, which saved 900 man hours on performance testing with executive automats. They could do performance testing with us 60% faster than they would do with another tools, and it revealed bottlenecks in transaction processing. And this is what we mentioned, that not only we can see if our system is stable, we can also make some improvements. So this client made nice improvements in the transaction processing, so it works faster in the background, no matter what is the workload on the system. The next one is client from manufacturing sector. This project was a bit smaller. Here we simulated 200 sessions, 200 users working at the same time in a system, and it was done to check if we will have any downtimes during the migration to our production. So here we could simulate that if we migrate some code, we migrate some modifications to our production environment, we won't face any issues when 200 people will start work at Monday morning. And I think one of the biggest projects, it was done for the biggest implementation of finance and operations in the Southern Hemisphere. Here we did the stress testing. So we tested again hundreds of virtual users, hundreds of sessions at the same time to check how ERP will behave when the higher workload will be needed, will be required in the system. Here we had as a trigger for us to make this test was the heat wave, which Bartosz mentioned. Heat wave is like the natural event, we can say, where the temperature gets really high on the in the countries on the southern hemisphere, and it for this customer, for this client, it meant that they will have much more increased sales. So what we wanted to do, we wanted to simulate 65,000 sales lines per hour. So we accomplished that. We could create stress test that created 65,000 sales lines per hour, and we verified that if the ERP is ready for such an event, we can do this kind of tests for all the events like Cyber Mondays, Black Fridays. These are triggers for the load testing as well. And all right, so let's jump into the tool. As a showcase, I will show you how easy it is to create tests and also multiply that test within our application. And I will show you the execution of one planned task, planned job. And also I will show you the progress report and some results from our performance monitoring as well. So let's switch the screen. Right, I will have to share a second. Okay. And yeah, it should be visible now. All right, so what we can see on the screen right now is the dashboard of Executive Automats in version 5.0. And on this dashboard, what we can see is the progress report from our scheduled executions, our scheduled jobs. And here in my example, I have created scheduler that executes around 100 sessions at the same time. And here on the progress report, we can see different executions of this particular job, and we can check how many scripts were executed, how many ended with errors, with the successes, and of course with the warnings. And here on the progress report, we can see how it was changing, how our scripts behave. Of course, here we have only information about successes, errors, and warnings. In a second, I will show you also the timings. So let's move to the scheduler, and in the scheduler we can open this recurring job, and I will show you what we have inside. So this scheduled job runs 10 different scripts, and each of them is multiplied by 10 sessions. So in total, we can run 100 sessions. We have 10 scripts multiplied by 10 sessions. So at total, we can run 100 sessions. And here I have very typical business processes like create vendor, but there are also some scripts which are specially designed for performance testing, like navigation test, test for the filters inside Dynamics. So this kind of scripts, they can be created as well. And of course, this scheduler was executed by me a few times today, and here we can see what were the timings of different executions. Of course, I was running them at the same day, so my timings are not much different by different executions. But when you recur this kind of scheduler, and this scheduler is set to be recurred every month. So every month we can run such a test, but of course it can be less. You can run it each day or at least once a week, and then as well observe how the timings will change. You can run this kind of batch job with 100 sessions, even ad hoc. So you can run them at the morning, at the evening, to see what are the differences in times of executions, but also amount of scripts which fail, which are executed successfully. And what we can do right now is we can extend this scheduler. I want to show you how easy it is to create new tests and quickly add it as a performance script for our performance test. So let's move to the script list, and here I will quickly create new process, new script. Let's use something simple, maybe customer creation. All right, let's just quickly go to the dynamics to record steps. Okay. All right. So any process like this, which you want to use in your performance test. Oh, I forgot to click on the recording. 1 second. Any process can be recorded on the UI without any code, any coding skills needed. So you can ask also your business users to prepare recordings of the most important processes for your performance test, and then we will add this kind of test to our scheduled job. Okay, let's name the customer PW something as a customer count. I will use the same value for the name. Let me just also create very quickly the get value step. It is not important for our test, but it will be easier for me to create the script. And once we have the user group, I think we can add maybe the street. That's my street where I live, and then let's save the test. Let's save the customer. Sorry. So all right, once the customer is created, I can stop the recording. Let's close the recorder very quickly. Let's see if all our steps are okay. For new customers, I will need different customer names, so I will use number sequence for my customer account, and that's I think that's it. Yeah, let's reorder that. Okay. These are not needed. Sorry guys, my bad. Double clicks here, and last thing. Okay, now our test should be ready for the performance test. I just wanted to make this script repeatable, so we need new customer names for every execution, especially for the performance testing. We want to multiply this test. We want to create 10 customers at the same time. So each customer needs the new name. So very quickly we can set this up in Executive Automats. And then once the script is ready, let's add it to our scheduled job. So we will run a bit more sessions with the next run. So to my whole scope, I will add this newly created customer creation. Of course, we want to run this script as a parallel execution. So I will select parallel option, and to multiply the test, all we have to do is just give a figure, give a number, how many times we want to multiply the test, and of course the last thing from our side is just to press run, and right now the test is executed, and let's see how it moves. It should start with executing the sessions. So right now we will run 110 sessions. So we have 11 scripts right now. Each script is multiplied by 10. All right, our test is starting. Of course, I will not wait until the whole test is completed. We just want to show you how easy it is to multiply your test. You don't need to have any special technical knowledge to create this performance test, to create a load test. All your business processes, they can be just like that, recorded, multiplied, and then executed. All right, let's see how if it's all right. It started already. We can see the sorry. Yeah, we can see that the scripts are running. They already started. Right now, 20 of them started, and the next scripts will start just right away. And yeah, and this is it. Of course, during the test, we can use some monitoring tools, which we mentioned. And right now, I will show you how our monitoring tool looks, what we can check in the monitoring of ours. So 1 second, let me just add it to the screen. Yeah. So once your test is running, like here we executed 100 sessions, 110 sessions at the same time. So in the meantime, while the test is running, our monitoring tool can show you how CPU spikes during the test. And these screenshots are from one of the scheduler executions, and you can see on the CPU graph that when test is running, we can see how CPU almost reaches 100% of usage. So this amount of scripts can almost use the full CPU of our dynamics, of my dynamics, of course. So the idea, of course, for the performance test is to run your workload and then verify how the memory, how the CPU will work. And our performance monitoring is really advanced. You can see very detailed information, even how many sessions right now of the users are active right now in the system. So we can confirm that we executed 100 sessions at the same time, and it on the CPU drop we can see this as well. We can see transactions per second. So when we have this business this scenario where we want to create X amount of transactions, which Bartosz mentioned, and we mentioned it also for in our use case where we created 6,500 of thousands of sessions of transactions at the same time. This can be displayed on the monitoring as well. And let me show you one more screenshot, which is more about the database behavior, the database performance during the test. So not only performance of the machine can be checked, but also the database. Here on the screenshots, you can on the screenshot you can see different charts which show you the queries to the database and the executions. And we can see here which queries are blocked, which queries are slowed down during the test. So this also gives us a lot of information for the improvements to the database, how we can maybe create new SQLs to have more effective queries to our database from Dynamics. Yeah, so guys, if you will be interested to see full demo and full potential of executive automats, you can contact us. Of course, this performance monitoring is something that we can provide for you as well. It is very the installation of performance monitoring is very quick. We just provide you the deployable package, and with it you can monitor your dynamics, but not only during the test. You can use it on daily basis also to see any drops, any changes in performance. Right. Get back to you, Bart.
Yeah, I think just to add, the performance monitoring is actually in essence. In the past, we had that info when it comes to dynamics, and now, since the changes, we don't see that data, and it is essential on tier 5, tier 4 environments where typically don't have that. This enables this, so production machine can be you can have nice insights from it. You can see which which bad job or what SQL right now is occupying the system the most, even though there are just few people working. So that aspect is actually our kitchen. We use that to build you performance reports, but this can leave with you after the performance testing will be done. So you have proactiveness. You are proactive to define the obstacles, hurdles, and you are able to define what is actually slowing down your machine. So it's much more than you actually can get so far. And we have customers which are just going for performance monitoring, just for proactivity. Thank you so much, Pavel, for providing this showcase. It's great stuff. A lot of elements we can do. Let's navigate to the Q&A. I see that we have some first info here. Great presentation. I think we can just show it here.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I showed it at the same time.
Great presentation, timely for us. We are moving away from load runner. By chance, is there a way to simulate throttle bandwidth to see performance for our sites with low bandwidth? That is the setup we can definitely do. At the end of the day, we are building for you the load, and we just need to make sure that the machines, the endpoints where we reach out to, they are prepared or built in the scenario which Rob you would like to aim for. So we can say yes that we do not only simulation of the load, but also we do geolocalizational tests. So you are able to make some interesting stuff like 10 sessions from Germany, 50 from France, 10 from UK, 5 from Sweden. So that is something you can go pretty wild with that. And if you would like, Pavel, to add something, just go ahead.
No, yeah, of course we can do tests like this as well. Yeah, not only for Dynamics, for web platforms, we can prepare some scripts, some tests as well.
Okay, any more questions? I don't know if Pavel, you remember the customer from, I think they were from Limerick, or I think they're different islands. I don't recall the exact place, but we've been testing for them their internal platform where they do service requests, and we've been able to unfortunately kill that specific service, internal service machine, and every service request was a notification to their manager. I think this was either a CTO or somebody. We've been sitting on the meeting with them, and his phone was going crazy with 200 sessions at the same moment. Everybody was laughing out of that.
Long time ago, I think.
True. Pablo, we can show the next question. We have some
sure.
more.
Yeah. Is there any chance to bypass a multi-factor authentication for the application which has a strict MFA and run the test for 200 users at the same time? Yes, we can do that. We can use accounts with MFA. We just need to authenticate them. And once the users are authenticated, then we can use them in our scripts without any MFA in the script execution. Of course, for the performance testing, very often we need to create bigger amount of users than for regression or any other types of the testing. So the recommendation is to use as the simplest login process as possible. But MFA is also handled by executive automats. So no worries, this kind of tests will work as well. Okay, I think we have another one. if we can export this histogram results to other formats such as Excel, both scheduler execution can be exported. All of the timings from the scripts, they can be exported to the Excel. We can also make the integration with Power BI. So we provide some information from Executive Automat's database to Power BI, where we can build even more advanced reporting. And if it comes to the performance monitoring, we can as well export this information.
Yeah,
but I will,
Azure has some out-of-the-box download capabilities. It downloads it in a file of PDF, JSON. So from that JSON, you might be able to do a bit more, typically for performance reporting, because naturally our customers are expecting that we're going to solidify a formalized document which will state their performance over the tests and reruns and some feedback. We are using mostly some screenshots out of this board, but there is a JSON file which can give you some great idea, and based on that we could do more. But yeah, we are more than open to work.
Reused as Excel as well. So,
yeah. So that is something we can help you out if there will be need for this. Okie dokie. I don't see any more questions. So I think, Pavel, we can conclude for today. If there will be anything else, feel free to write us some messages. Well, we have the last one, I guess. You want to pull it?
Yeah, sure. All right. Can load runner scripts be directly imported to Executive Automats, or is there any plugin required? Unfortunately, no. Executive Automats use own recording and playback mechanism, unique for Executive Automats. So unfortunately, every script that you want to run needs to be recorded with Executive Automats. But what we can add, if you would like to see our other webinars or check our Executive Automats for Discovery product. Some of the test cases for your performance testing, they can be also generated from our observing product that we were describing on the last webinar last week. So maybe this will be interesting for you, that if you don't have resources to create new scripts, to record those scripts, you can also think about observing tools like our Executive Automats for Discovery, which works in your Dynamics and in the background, and create automatically some test cases for you. Maybe Bart, you want to add something to this?
Yeah, I mean, the discovery is pretty mind-blowing when it comes to the observability functions. That we are kind of enabling you the possibility to observe the system and unpack that performance problems, be proactive from the performance problems. And I think, Pavel, you're totally right. It's probably the best way to deal with it is just watch our last webinar, because it concludes a bit what to expect from the specifics of the observability. And yeah, that will cover the exact question that you are running right now. You are able to do it automatically. There will be no need for re-recording it. Okie dokie. So with that being said, thank you so much, guys, for participating in today's webinar with APN Promise, Microsoft, and Executive Automats team. Pavel, thank you so much for co-hosting the session with me today. It's always a pleasure. We look forward, guys, to meet you on upcoming events. This year, I think we're going to be in 4 different locations globally on summits. So stay tuned. We're gonna give you some heads up if there will be a chance to meet. We are more than happy. Wish you a lovely afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the globe, and see you soon.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.